105 North Avenue, 52.
Prepare to be fucked by the long dick of the law.
Welcome to Thought Cops, the only podcast where every week we police the mean streets of the internet because, hey, somebody's got to do it. And then we let you be the judge, the jury, and the executioner in the court of public opinion. Coming to you live from Neo Chicago, I am Officer Kevin.
And I'm a real cop.
How are you, Grant?
I feel like J. Jonah Jameson sits like this a lot. If you can see what I'm doing here, he's got like the one hand in active posture and then the fist in the other hand, and he's always leaning as he's talking.
And for the folks at home who can't see, Grant is wearing shorts and spreading his legs.
I look ridiculous right now.
Trying to, he's sitting in a very awkward position.
Top, I'm up business though.
At the table, though. Yes, he looks very professional from the top down, or from the half.
Well,
up,
I'm here
with his sunglasses on and everything. How are you, Grant?
I'm fine.
That's great.
Fine, thanks.
Let's give a warm welcome to a brand new guest to the show, because tonight we have none other than Celia Schilling from Yacht Club Games. How are you, Celia?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for having me, by the way.
Absolutely. Happy to have you here. Happy to have you here because Grant and I are big fans of a certain game that Yacht Club Games has put out called Shovel Knight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So you are the marketing manager for Yacht Club Games. And like I said, you guys, Shovel Knight, Pocket Dungeon, Cyber Shadow, and then upcoming game that I'm very much looking forward to is Mina the Hollower. So I wanted to ask you a few questions. How long have you been with Yacht Club Games?
So in 1 month, it'll be 2 years. So I'm one of the newer members of the crew, but it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
So 1 month post pandemic start.
Yeah. So this week, actually, I accepted my offer at Yacht Club Games, and then the world shut down. And I was like, "Oh
God, yeah,
cool.
yeah."
Do I still have a job? And yeah, it's been an interesting journey so far, navigating all of this, but it's been fun.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. March of 2020, a legendary month.
You were gaining a job as I had lost one, like on the same day, perhaps.
Like many, perhaps.
Just like go home, come back, never.
Did you relocate? Because you said you're in Los Angeles. Did you relocate there for this job?
Kind of. I moved from one part of Los Angeles to a different part of Los Angeles.
Okay,
so
for sure.
Kind of, but it's less of a commute because I work from home, so I went from a commute to no commute. There we go.
Oh, so are you guys still doing remote?
We're doing hybrid. So some people work in the office, some work from home, some mixy-matchy. Like I'll be spotted in the office on like stream days or like when we're holding events. But besides that, I work from home.
Yeah, I was just wondering because I know that I've heard so many stories of people who are like, oh yeah, I got this new job 3 months into 2020. I moved across the country, or I moved to a different country, a whole new city, so excited.
Right.
And I couldn't do anything for 2 years. So at least you had some chance to get acquainted with Los Angeles. And I mean, yeah, things are, wishy-washy, I guess. I don't want to say they're on the upswing, but they seem...
I'm hesitant to be optimistic nowadays.
Yeah, every time I get excited, I'm like, wow, like everyone's getting vaccinated. Like everything seems like it's going back to like normal. And then like 2 weeks later, it's like, JK, back in the cave. So I don't know.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But let's talk about something more positive. Like I said, Yacht Club Games, Shovel Knight. We reviewed that on our spin-off show, Fire Bros. God, years ago at this point, I think.
Yeah, that's crazy to think how much time has passed.
I know.
And how much time continues to pass. We're trying to keep it upbeat here. I remember Kevin, you were trying to talk me into playing it, and I was like, I don't know. And then I got just like everything about the game is just like perfect. Like it's just one of those things where it's like I get the controller in my hand and it just like it fits perfectly. It's exactly what it needs to be.
Good game feel.
Right, exactly. Great game feel.
Thank you.
I know you're involved in like the whole marketing side of everything, but like, are you like, do you get like little? I'm sure you must get little peeks into the whole development side of these games too, correct?
Yeah, it's not peaks; it's an open window. The cool thing about Yacht Club games, and I think it differs. Possibly from other studios, I don't know, I don't work for them, is that like we have a like an open door policy. So I get, I'm in design meetings, I'm in when we're doing story writing, everyone has a hand, like literally anyone on the development team has a hand in marketing too. So
that's awesome. Yeah.
Everyone's all hands on deck, we're all involved. So I've gotten quite a few peekaroonies and several hour meetings too. So it's been fun, and it's really cool to see like the creative curtain like pulled back and seeing like, because I was a fan of Shovel Knight prior to working at Yacht Club Games.
I was gonna ask, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so like you can see like everyone's like bits of humor and like everything, like the creative melting pot that gets put into what our games become. So it's a really cool experience.
Yeah, because I feel like Shovel Knight was like the indie game that really got me into indie games. Like I have very fond memories because I got it for 3DS back in like 2014. And at the time I was living with my parents and commuting downtown to my internship at the Onion. And whenever I was like on the train, I would always be like, well, now I can play Shovel Knight, you know? And that was my like little ritual before and after work, was like playing through Shovel Knight on my commute. And it was just like one of those like fond memories I have. And then like, not to mention, the game continued to release all kinds of DLC over the course of like years. And it felt like it was like, oh, this is not just DLC. This feels like a whole new game.
A whole new world.
A beautiful new world. Grant.
Yeah. Each campaign in Shovel Knight Treasure Trove, like jumping into marketing phase, is like a completely like a new adventure. If you haven't played King of Cards yet, I would definitely recommend it. It's my favorite campaign in the series.
Have I played that? Do you know? Why am I asking you?
Yeah.
No, I haven't actually.
It's cool.
I looked at it and then I didn't play it, but I will now.
Yeah, it's kind of like Wario Land-esque, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay.
I'm a big fan of Wario Land and just the humor in the games. Like my colleagues are really funny people, and they just went like they didn't have to go that hard on the jokes, but they did, and I caught myself audibly laughing out loud like a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it does seem to be like a gamer's game, like
a game made by gamers,
a game made by gamers and a company of gamers, which I think is good because there's so many companies that I feel like lately nowadays you get, some of these other companies, the ones,
the others,
they just sort of like here you go, here's FIFA, and you're just like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
To my defense is like, because I have to defend other studios, to be honest. There is a game for every genre. And so though it might not appeal to you, someone must really love soccer. I'm not the soccer person.
There's a play.
There's definitely.
But maybe they're huge soccer fans. But I guess what's really great about our studio is since we have such hands-on control of like the company and the direction and everything that we want to do, we get to like move forward with it. I think we're really privileged in that sense. So maybe someone who makes the FIFA games really wants to work on, I don't know, like a Mario game, but they don't have the opportunity. So I don't know. It's one of those things where you want to have an understanding lens.
There's a lot of stories like that out there, and it's like you got to get your experience in some way.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, what is your favorite Shovel Knight character?
King Knight. Okay, I have a few. Okay, so King Knight is my favorite Order of No Quarter member / campaign star. I really like the Goatician. I think he needs more love. He's a goat. The game.
Oh, right.
I really like Propeller Rat. It's an enemy. It's a little rat that has a propeller on it.
Yeah.
They're so cute. And if you played King of Cards, you would appreciate them more because they're King Knight starter subjects. They're great.
Oh, yeah. There's so much cool, like, little twists with like all the DLC and everything. But yeah, I love all the enemy designs, all the character designs, really cool stuff.
I love the guy with the boomerang and the large scarf. He shows up like once early on and you just never see him or hear from him again. He's more so like the anti-hero that you cross paths with, that he's like, hey, you're one of those bad guys. And you're like, no, I'm not. And then he throws his 2 boomerangs at you.
In Sue boss battle.
Reese. You're talking about Reese.
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, I've never heard, I've always heard him referred to as a kid. Like, he's like, oh, the child. And I was like, the guy. I was like, the man, the adult
The
man.
The adult with the large scarf.
And I'm like, oh, it's Reese. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
okay.
I hadn't considered his age, but I guess now...
He's a small boy.
He's the same height as... How old is Shovel Knight?
Don't worry about it.
Oh, that reminds me. I guess now this is actually a great chance for me to ask. I remember like there was like some helmet off thing with Shovel Knight. I never could get full clarification, but is he a fish?
Is he?
Because like there's like this one like it's like if you take his helmet off, you're just okay. You're gilding the mystery along maybe because like I know there's some hidden thing in the first game where it's like or the first campaign where you can pull off it or you can there's like his helmet is off or maybe it's another NPC or something.
Yeah, there's definitely not a Four Figures statue of that either. I don't know. Is he? I don't know.
Huh?
Maybe you should ask Shovel Knight. Maybe he'll tell you.
Who's to say?
Yeah, this is just one of those because like, this is one of those things I remember Googling where I'm like, is Shovel Knight a fish? And then nobody could confirm, and I guess I'll never get that answer, and I will have to learn to be okay with not getting that answer. I think that's fair.
I definitely do not have this Sprite in my assets folder, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
But I also want to ask you guys.
I get the feeling. No, go ahead.
I was going to ask you guys. Do you ever? And like, I don't know if you get this this joke a lot over there, or if you're tired of hearing of it. Do you guys ever get confused for the Board 8 Yacht Club?
So yes and no. We were here first. Rude.
That is true.
I feel like we get mistaken more for just a regular old yacht club. I get so many emails advertising us yacht club stuff, more than I get notifications for about
you're like
the board
they're
game.
inviting you to like a gala. You know, we're having a gala at the Catalina whatever the hell that was.
The Catalina wine mixer, is that your go-to?
Yeah, I was thinking California. I'm thinking Step Brothers, classic California movie, of course.
Actually, our last year's April Fool's joke, we opened up the Yacht Club Games Yacht Club, so you can be part of the yacht crew. We were going to make t-shirts, we ended up not doing that, but we made like yacht club, like boat passes, and I made up like this whole vicinity, and then we closed the same day. We had a grand opening and grand closing. But that was inspired by so many like Catalina wine mixer invites on email and like, hey, you want some bulk buy boat parts? And it's like, no, but now I have the option. Cool.
Huh.
Now this next year, you're gonna have to do monkey NFTs.
Not even with a 10-foot pole. Not even touching the
That's reassuring to hear. That's reassuring to hear. But now I do want to talk about the newest game you have, Mina the Hollower, which I am very excited for because I feel like this game, at least from what it looks like, is going to scratch a very particular itch that I have had to have scratched for a long time because I've been wanting a classic style top-down Zelda sort of game for a while. I know there's like some games out there. I think one even came out this week, but this sort of like is specifically harkening back to what appears to be the Game Boy Color era of Zelda games, if I'm correct here. And it seems to borrow a lot of stuff. So without further ado, let's have a peek at this trailer.
Go ahead and this is going to be boring if you're listening on the feed, but if you're watching on YouTube, which you can go on YouTube and type in Thought Cops and we show up immediately. You just hit subscribe, you watch the video, and it's in full high quality.
It's perhaps the most roundabout way to watch a game trailer, but trust us, it's worth it.
So without any more ado than is need be, there it is. Kevin, do you want to narrate this?
So she appears to be jumping out of a hole. This is a bone-chilling new adventure. We're getting a look at what appears to be several sort of Zelda dungeon-esque
this
settings.
Looks incredible.
Yeah. Some different weapons, cool NPCs.
Some platforming action.
Yup.
All those cool sidearms that you could have in the game.
Kind of like a Castlevania style axe there.
Music is fucking popping off.
It's the same composer from Shovel Knight, right?
Yep, Jay Kaufman.
It sounds, it sounds.
Bone up, it says?
Yeah, it's leveling up.
Okay.
We'll talk more about that in a little bit.
All the weapons here.
I mean, the flow of the movement, too, looks...
Yeah.
Because that is one of those things, you're playing those old Zelda games and you're like, it's a little blocky. This looks very, like, fluid.
Mina the Hollower. Now on Kickstarter.
Okay, so Kickstarter's closed, but if anyone wants to support it, we have backer options on Pledgebox right now.
Okay,
You
cool.
go to minathehollower.com. So,
Awesome.
throwing that out there.
Well, I'm excited. That's one of my most anticipated games at the moment, so I'll be looking forward to that. And you mentioned there's a few things you want to touch on there.
Yeah, okay. So let's see. What was I going to go first? Oh, bone up. So there's a level up system in the game.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering.
You can upgrade. And so you collect bones, which go towards your experience. They're also a currency. We have a bunch of jokes in the office. We just yell bone up like all the time. So it's really fun to see like the community is like super pumped about the game as well, like getting jazzed about that.
Of course.
I'm going to start saying that all the time, indiscriminately.
But I don't doubt you. But so this kind of seems like that's where it maybe separates itself from like the Game Boy Zelda style, where it's like you have a level up system, which is interesting. So that's kind of incorporates some more RPG elements, it sounds like.
Yeah, so there's some RPG elements because like you keep mentioning Zelda, but we also took inspirations from Castlevania. We also took inspirations from Bloodborne. I think it's funny because like Shovel Knight took us like inspirations from Dark Souls, so I guess we're moving on in the FromSoft type of series.
I didn't know that. Well, we'll be looking forward to the the eventual open world. Is it has there ever been like an open world 2D game like that before? I don't think so.
Okay, so I wouldn't say open world, but I would say like mechanics, like when you're learning the move set of the bosses and like the kind of school aspects to it. So yeah, open world would be really cool, but I feel like we would
one day
probably take like a decade to make that. We have a small team.
Yeah, that seems very painstaking.
It sounds terrifying, but also fun.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's awesome because I did not know that Shovel Knight pulled from Dark Souls. I knew that Shovel Knight took a lot of inspiration from like Castlevania, Mega Man, a lot of games of that era.
DuckTales.
Yeah. Classic. I'm definitely looking forward to this, and I feel like like you said, the writing is hilarious, the gameplay's tight, so Mina the Hollower should be good. We'll have to come back around and review that one.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% down. 1,000% down.
It's been such a really fun experience with like just the announcement of the game. We had announced it. I don't know if you guys saw, but we were on G4. That's when we did our official announcement for.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
G4 is back.
Yeah, for like a year, I think ish.
Yeah, it's been back for a little bit. It's been really fun. They had us back because initially we went on there for Shovel Knight Devs React, where we read a bunch of mean comments and responded to them. It was really funny. But yeah, it was cool to be back on GeForce X Play, and they were kind enough to work with us to help, like I guess, debut our Yacht Club Games Presents.
Sure.
So we gave some announcements about Shovel Knight Dig, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, on Cyber Shadow, and then we announced Mina. And it was really cool because it's when we launched our Kickstarter, and like within 30 minutes, I think we raised like over $100,000. Like just from that kickoff, it was such high energy, and it was a really fun Kickstarter campaign.
That's awesome. Insane. Yeah, because Shovel Knight originally was a Kickstarter project as well, right? Yeah,
it was. So for that, we announced the Kickstarter, and like the team had brought it to PAX. I want to say PAX West, and they put their like hearts and souls into that project. They ended up raising, I think it was like $311,502. So that was like what funded or started to fund Shovel Knight. And then actually our goal for Mina the Hollower was $311,503. because, one more dollar for inflation, because that's how it works, right?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay, good. We're really upgraded now. So.
The economics check out.
Phew, I was really nervous there.
Yeah.
But we're beyond thankful for the community support. We ended up raising $1.2 million through the Kickstarter campaign, and we're so excited to share the development process with our community.
Awesome.
I wish I had the concept of what any of like that money means, because it's like if you were to say, oh, you need to raise all, I'd just be like, I don't even know where to begin with this.
It's going somewhere good.
It's way over my head.
It's going somewhere good. That's all we need to know.
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
But speaking of somewhere good, like Grant said, if you want to watch this episode, if you're listening and you're thinking to yourself, hey, the trailer sounded good, the banter is excellent, I would like to see what it's like in that room, in that Riverside studio. You can head on over to youtube.com/thoughtcops and subscribe to us. We got all kinds of highlight clips and bonus videos and all kinds of cool stuff on there. We also have a Twitch account. You can follow us there, twitch.tv/thoughtcops. We do the occasional stream here and there, of course.
I've been thinking of other ways to start using it for extra content, because a lot of times I'll be sort of laying on the couch over there and I'll be like, I'm going to play 2 hours of Paper Mario, and then I'll do that, and then I'll just turn it off, and then it's gone. But I've been thinking, like, we have this YouTube channel, we've got other content that's on YouTube. Why don't I start taking some of the Twitch streams and then turning those into like videos? So that might be a little bit more down the pipeline, but
Grant Reacts segment.
It might happen.
And
we
you got
don't
all the
know. We got some plans. So
it's all like you doing faces like this, like.
It's all me doing things.
They said
like
what happened? And then it's just like you're just being like,
yeah, I say nothing the whole time.
Just like
I just sit in the corner of the screen,
watching the video, barely saying anything.
I eat popcorn.
Yeah, audibly chewing on mic. So yeah, check that out, everybody. Twitch.tv/thoughtcops. But let's move on to a very famous, a very favorite segment of the show called 2 Minutes of Hate. We really talk about all that annoying random crap that we see on our computers and our phones and our just basically anywhere you get an internet connection these days. So without further ado, my 2 minutes of hate this week is this phrase people like to say on Twitter, typically in response to something where they say, I thought you said, they said, I thought that said blank for a second. Typically, it's like, it's a kind of like a playful response to maybe like a viral tweet where they kind of like pretend like they misinterpreted it, where they're like, oh, I thought you, like, I'm trying to think of a good example where it's like, oh yeah, I was eating.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Yeah, that would be helpful. I was eating an apple today, and I bit into the core, and I thought you said you were eating
what side of Twitter are you on?
Apple
Twitter,
like if fruits and vegetable Twitter. I mean, this is the worst example in the world for sure, but you put me on the spot.
Well, I'm just wondering.
But
I'm asking the questions everybody else wants to know.
No, you are. You're right. So it's more in line with like, I don't know, just someone. It's like when you say, I thought you said this, it's like that kind of works more in a verbal conversation. But
right.
if you're reading it on the screen, that doesn't really work as well, Right. I don't know. I mean, you said you guys over at like Yacht Club Games read, some of the comments on live TV. Does anybody ever pull this on you guys where they're like trying to get, because I feel like it's like trying to get your attention in some regard where they're like, oh, I thought you said, again, not on my top game for thinking of examples off the top of my head tonight. Maybe you shouldn't have taken a nap earlier, but that's fine.
Me?
No, me.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, do you ever see this kind of thing on Twitter or anywhere like that?
I've seen it a little bit. But also it's because we use a lot of alliterations in our brand identity. So like it'll be a lot of play on words. And so I've definitely seen that. I know what you're talking about. Also, vegetable and fruit slander TikTok is a thing. Not TikTok. Why is it TikTok? Twitter. There we go.
That's probably also a thing.
I don't know why my mind went. Why did my mind go there? I'm like, what?
Well,
like,
I have a tweet that.
There's an apple over there. That's probably why. I just saw the
that
apple.
Makes a lot of sense. I have a tweet that maybe this is what you're talking about. It got 3 likes. I'm very proud of it. The tweet was, "The left can't meme, more like the miffed can't lean." And then I said, "This sounds better aloud than it reads."
I don't know if that's the same exactly.
Well, I don't fucking know, man.
I mean, he tried.
And God bless him for trying.
It was better than the apple. I thought you read orange.
Yes, there's no. I am in no shape or form defending the apple example. It was horrible. The worst improvisation that has ever been on a podcast in the history of podcasts. You heard it here tonight. Out of my mouth.
No one will ever accuse us of being scripted.
No one will ever accuse the show of being good.
Some people have.
That's true. I guess a few. But anyway, I am going to end my segment, my viciously scathing segment here, and say,
"What's the 2 minutes of hate again?"
I thought you said blank for a second. Let me stop you there. No, you didn't. You just wanted to make a reply.
Okay.
Liars. Yeah, basically,
Filthy liars.
I have no tolerance for liars. That's what this boils down to.
Yeah.
You know what? It's a blatant lie. It's a lie, and you're lying to my face. So my punishment is, I guess, like proofread, learn to read. You know, if you thought that's what it said.
Hey, put a pair of these on. You know,
put a pair of spectacles. Maybe get your eyes checked. I don't know. Maybe I didn't go to the eye doctor for a few years. Turns out my prescription changed. I didn't know. That could be happening to you. You may not know that you are in need of an updated eye prescription. Maybe your glasses are smudged. You got a bad pair of contacts. I don't know.
Celia, do you have 2 minutes of hate for us this week?
Yes,
it doesn't have to be
I
Apple
do.
related.
It's
Or it
not
can
Apple
be.
related.
It can
Sorry.
be.
I mean, not today. So it's on TikTok, so it's not Twitter. Orange cat slander. And what I mean by that is that always when someone posts a video of a orange cat or a tabby cat or whatever you want to call him, a little Garfield boy, they'll be like, "Oh, it's always the orange cat," because they'll post him like having zoomies or jumping off of something and like horribly missing, and everyone always comments, "It's always the orange cat." The thing is, though, is that I am a cat owner, and my cat does dumb shit all the time, and he is not an orange cat. So I think it's very rude that they're assigning that to only orange cats.
Yeah, of course. I believe that. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, has something to do with Garfield and maybe even Heathcliff.
I was going to say, are you more team Heathcliff or more team Garfield? This is a very controversial subject on this show, so pick the right answer.
Garfield.
I would
Over
agree.
Heathcliff?
I don't know. Well, okay, Heathcliff. I think
Heathcliff had an amazing run where they kept drawing him being confused for Garfield.
Okay.
That won me over.
If you thought my last 2 minutes of hate was in any way entertaining because of how confusing it was, read a Heathcliff comic. I'm just gonna I'm gonna go on the Discord because like people are Thought Cops Discord.
Well,
which
one person posts every day the Heathcliff comment.
If you would like to join our Discord, we do include a link to the server in every episode description. But like, okay, so here's one. It's a deli. There's two guys working inside the deli, and Heathcliff seems to be surfing through the air on a drone, and he's wearing a helmet labeled ham. And the text at the bottom captioning the comic says, "Hide the ham."
I feel like the Heathcliff versus Garfield like controversy, or war, is like a Digimon versus Pokemon thing. Like,
oh my God,
no
you're right.
Right or wrong answer, but we definitely know which one has a full TV series and franchise and game series and everything. So I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
That was such a light bulb moment when you said that, because I that is the perfect one-to-one where you're saying like Pokemon is like Garfield, Digimon is like Heathcliff.
Yeah.
Maybe
Heathcliff had a TV show.
True, but like people remember. I know you're more of a Digimon guy, Grant.
No, I think that the TV show for Digimon was superior to the Pokemon TV.
Actually, it
Right,
was.
and there's some
literally
aspects-
once they said that, I
Yeah.
realized there's a game series for the TV show. There's all of that, so the joke went out the window immediately.
Well, no, still,
actually,
but the fact that you didn't remember it though, because the rest of us are like,
And also, the Digimon movie perfectly encapsulates the feeling that I had growing up as a child in the 90s. So
must be that soundtrack.
3 movies
It's
into
the
one and
soundtrack.
horribly spliced together, so American audiences are confused.
we don't talk about the third
I did not know that.
part. We don't talk about the third
Wow.
part.
But they had
but-
Smashing Pumpkins in it, so I think your life is
Did they?
good. Yeah, in the
I
beginning.
figured you wouldn't know that, Grant.
I don't remember a Smashing Pumpkin song being in the Digimon movie.
Maybe a different one, but
Hold on. I'm going to Google this because I like being right. Hold on.
but there are, like I said, there are aspects to Heathcliff that, like you said, the Digimon anime is better than the Pokemon anime, but people typically know Pokemon, whereas some might look at the Heathcliff comics here and to them they think this is a better comic than Garfield, but of course Garfield is the more ubiquitous. It has movies, it has multiple TV series that are mostly, because I guess there was a Heathcliff cartoon, mostly unmemorable.
If they made a Heathcliff movie,
That would be, what? I would see it. If it's anything like the comics, though, because they can't like dumb it down for audiences. They have to keep it at the same level of intellect as the comics here. Which I would got another one here. So
It
this
was
one is
Smash Mouth, not Smashing Pumpkins.
oh
Sorry.
Smash
Oh,
Mouth.
okay.
There we
Yeah,
go.
it was-
Sorry. It was some band. Okay.
Smashing Mouthkins.
they're
There you
smashing
go.
something. It
Yeah,
doesn't
right?
matter what.
Basically, tomato.
I almost called him Garfield. Shit.
Oh, that's
Heathcliff
embarrassing
stepping out
for
in the
you.
morning, and he's like doing one of these, like, and it says yawn above him because he's waking up in the morning, and there's these 2 birds up in a tree looking at him, and Heathcliff has this fire breath coming out of his mouth. This it's like somebody, he's got like a flamethrower inside of him,
Okay,
and then the quote says, "His morning breath is no joke,"
good.
and
classic.
that's one of the more. Honestly, that's one of the more.
You don't have to read anymore. That's fine. So we're talking about
She's got a thing for the Utz girl.
orange cat slander.
Yes.
I just always thought that all cats had basically the same like generalized personalities, and that you'd like have like palette swaps.
Sorry, there's one Garfield
Oh my
comic somebody
God.
put in here, and it's just like a 3-panel strip where Garfield has a plate of sushi in front of him in the first panel, and he says, "Ooh, sushi," and then panel 2, he's eating the sushi, and then panel 3, it just says burp. He's literally, there's no joke. He's just eating a plate of sushi. Like, that's what I'm saying. This is what passes for quality content from Garfield these days.
These days,
Unbelievable. I mean, for a long time, yeah. This has
we
probably
live in
been
dark times.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So first off, palette swap, rude. No, all cats have different personalities. Just so we know.
No, I'm not saying that they don't. I have 2 cats here.
And I wanted to,
somewhere.
I also want to say, I don't know if you want me to say this on the show or Grant about
Yeah.
the incident that happened here recently.
Oh, when a cat fell from my ceiling.
Yeah, and that
What?
cat, it's a gray cat.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
a
an
gray
orange
cat.
one.
No, we got some vents up here, and they like climbing, and now we have to disincentivize the climbing onto the vents because sometimes they fall off. She's fine.
She was getting a little bit adventurous, but yeah, we got now there's a lot more.
It's a loft.
What do you want to call it? Child proofing?
Yeah, there's child proofing happening.
Yeah.
Cats are toddlers. They put everything in their mouth and they jump off a lot of
Right.
stuff they shouldn't have.
Same for me. But
That you're a toddler, or that you jump off things.
no,
and
I put things in my mouth and
Okay.
jump off like surfaces
At the same time?
Yeah,
Oh.
pretty much. I work from home. I get bored. So orange cat slander. Orange cat slander. Again, I don't want to completely attribute it to the whole Garfield Heathcliff thing, but obviously it's probably playing a part in people's perceptions and preconceived notions of these things. But yeah, I think we should end the stigma. You know, there's plenty of respectable orange cats out there.
I didn't
I've
know
met.
that there was a stigma. I'm just learning about this stigma.
I feel like I have seen this on Twitter. It was some point too.
Huh.
Yeah, they always
know.
say, if you just look up on Twitter search bar, it's always the orange cat. Like they'll probably, I haven't checked this, but there'll probably be something.
I'm just gonna see orange cat and see if I can find anything.
You know what kind of cats are always getting in trouble? The ones wearing hats.
I love cats with hats.
They break into your house. They're played by Mike Myers. They destroy your house. They try and eat your goldfish.
Yeah, sounds like a good afternoon.
This is an image that
Have you
says
seen
orange
all the-
cat is outside. It's officially spring. Not sure what that means. What were you gonna say?
Have you
said, have we seen
remember
what?
the Suicide Squad came out? Did you see all the Cat in the Hat except it's with Weasel pictures?
No.
That was like a very brief
are you like
meme.
Suicide Squad or the Suicide Squad, like the new one?
The new one. People edited the Cat in the Hat and just put Weasel in, and it was really great. But never mind.
I haven't seen either of the Suicide Squad movies.
Oh, and you know
Watch
what?
the new
And
one,
also
it's
a
good.
respectable orange cat is Tigers.
I've heard.
Tiger's an orange cat.
Yeah.
And I bet if I put a tiger in front of you and I said, hey, say that thing you said about orange cats on the internet to his face, I'd like to see you do it. I bet you won't. So did you have a punishment for that?
Yeah, they have to hang out with a bunch of orange cats, like a room full of them. Because I believe that, a great way to end this prejudice is to, expand their mind and have them hang out with more orange cats. But I'd want to be there too, because I want to hang out with them also. So
Sure,
That sounds cool.
sort of like a cat cafe.
Sounds
Yeah.
like a chill evening.
Yeah.
I think so.
What do you got for us, Grant?
All right. I got to switch from business glasses to actual glasses. So my 2 minutes of hate, as we all know, well, not all of us, I guess not everybody experiences this phenomenon, but a lot of us do. Most of us to some degree or another do. It's daylight savings time. Before, we saved none of the daylight and it all ran out. And then now we saved it. We got it back. It's in the bank. It's collecting interest.
Thank God.
And it's good. And now I guess that they're trying to say, hey, we're going to save all the daylight. We're going to put it in the bank. It's going to collect interest. It's going to compound. We're going to give that to businesses. It's going to help reinvigorate the American economy. This is the plan. This is why people are doing this. And then people see that, and then they have different opinions about daylight savings time. Oh, the sun's out in the morning. Oh, great. Or, oh, well, but then it's dark at whatever time. And you're like, okay, cool. And then somebody says, yeah, but why did they have it? Like, why are we still doing this? Why do we have it in the first place? This seems stupid. Why are we just shifting around the clock? Why don't we shift around work schedules? Why don't we shift around times? And then somebody goes, well, because of the farmers. My 2 minutes of hate are
Is
these
the farmers?
The farmers. Have you not heard this? Because that's
No, I
sort
have.
of the general consensus of why do we have daylight savings time? And people go, farmers.
100 years ago, it's like I don't even think and I don't know for sure, but I feel like they don't care anymore.
The farmers never cared. Farmers live at their place of work and work whenever they want to because they own the farm. They're not farmers are not punching clocks,
right?
But it's the farmer. Why do we have daylight savings time? Because of the farmers. Which ones? All of them. The farmers a long time ago wanted to save the daylight, and now we just have to have a time for saving it. And so I went to, you might have heard of this website. It's called Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just did a quick scan, and there's a couple different things. They're saying it was sort of proposed by Benjamin Franklin. It didn't really work. And then there was this New Zealand entomologist and astronomer George Hudson, who proposed the idea of changing clocks by 2 hours every spring. He wanted to have more daylight hours to devote to collecting and examining insects. So that's in like 1907-ish. So since like we've had it for like 100-ish years or so.
So let me get this straight. We have to deal with months of seasonal depression where it gets dark at like 4 p.m. because this guy wants to look at bugs?
Yeah, that's it. Celia,
Cool.
were you going to say something? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to be like, why? I don't know. I think we've been like voting to change it, or I think California tried to. I saw it on the ballot like a while ago where it was like, vote to ignore it or something. I feel like you should interview farmers at the farmers market and be like, we need to get to the bottom of this together. But also,
did you do this?
Yeah, right? Like, even if, like, let's say it is for the farmers and we ignore your bug catching fact,
right.
Most things are automated now. And like there's lights and like a lot of things are automated. Like we don't pay attention to seasons anymore. We just grow things. So I feel like that already has lighting, you know what I mean? Like housing or whatever.
Yeah.
And even if it were the case, but it has a lot more to do with like industrialization and like what time,
apple
like
farming and stuff.
No, not at all. Not the opposite of that, actually.
Gotcha.
More so like, the standardized work week and the standardized work hours of like 9 to 5, and you put your kids to school in the morning before your 9 to 5 job, and the cultural implications of that. And there's like a bunch of different things because, of course, as you introduce a certain phenomenon, other things occur within its scope of everything, and that's just humanity. But my problem is that anybody can go to Wikipedia and look up, it's this bug man invented daylight savings time, and you go, okay, and then you tell people it was a bug man, and then they go, no, I think you're wrong. It's the farmers, and it's just like you can read it, you can look it up. And I've had this conversation with people so many times where they just go, yeah, I just always heard it was the farmers. They needed more daylight. And it's just like, what? I get that there's like legends and myths, and that there's a whole mythos behind a lot of these things that happen as they happen. And that like creates like just a level of baseline understanding for everybody. But it's just like the second somebody tells you like, no, I don't think that's true, they go, no, I think it's true. And it's just like, I don't know, this is so indicative of every problem that we have as a species nowadays.
Well, I think this is a good time
to the farmers.
This is a good time to come clean. I was actually pretending to be surprised earlier.
Right.
Because I knew you would look this up on Wikipedia. So I went to the article before you found it. And I actually...
You made the thing up.
I edited that in myself. Yeah. That's all a bunch of crap I made up.
That's fine.
For you to find.
I don't care.
So maybe don't cite Wikipedia next time.
I don't care.
Actually, I'm not going to stand for this Wikipedia slander. See, we're going full circle here. So Wikipedia has like a full team of like volunteer reviewers that fact check every time that you try to edit something, and they'll like call you out. It's kind of nuts. So if people try to edit like Wikipedia entries about themselves and they find out, they call you out, and it's like this like they drag them on the internet, and it's bizarre. So I don't believe your bug editing bluff.
Well, you know, I mean, if you tell me the true origin of the Shovel Knight fish, I'll tell you whether or not I really did this.
That's a good.
I don't think that's a fair trade at all.
Okay, that's not that.
Well,
have you seen the documentary about the guy who's written like 90% of all Wikipedia articles?
What?
It's just like one guy.
Is he really cool?
He's amazing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna Google him real fast. Guy who's written most of Wikipedia.
Well, I autofilled right away too.
Yeah, so he obviously exists. What's this guy's name? I can't. Stephen Pruitt. He's just written like 4.4 million,
Oh, wow.
created more than 300 or 3,300. My vision is just, I don't even, it's pointless. But yeah, it's one guy, just one guy that's writing most of it.
I feel like it's always just one guy doing most of something.
I hope that now, like for high school research papers, because I know like when I was in high school, it was like you cannot use Wikipedia as a source. I feel like maybe now you can.
Now it's valid.
Because
I think so long as you actually like read it and then go through it and then like get your research from it and not just like cite it, I think you're fine.
Only if it was one of the 90, if it was in the 90% of articles that were done by this guy. Anything in the 10% that was done by anything else, they have to review. But if it was this guy, he looks like a trustworthy man. Like you said, he's done most of the articles on the website. Seems like a nice guy. I trust him. That's enough for me.
Stephen Pruitt, go on Thought Cops.
Would you trust him with your life?
No.
Yeah, I would. Truly, I would.
Dang, doubling down. It's a lot of trust.
Yeah.
It's a little too much trust.
Yeah, speaking of too much trust, let's move on to the main segment of the show, which is our, what you want to call meat and potatoes of the course here. If you haven't listened to Thought Cops before, every week we investigate the internet's outrage-inducing news stories, and then we sentence each perpetrator to a cruel and often quite unusual punishment. Now, Celia, you work for Yacht Club Games. You put out so many hit games over the years that have resonated with so many people. And I personally feel like the number one way to tell if you have made a game that is...
This is true. This is what you're saying is true.
That is truly going to go down as a legendary classic for the ages is if you make a game that's so popular that PETA tries to take you down. You know, they've tried Super Mario. They've tried Pokemon.
Well, not if his wife Lois has anything to say about it.
Oh, boy. I was thinking about making that joke, and I didn't, but it had to be made. It had to be made. And thank you for doing it.
So, yeah, Celia, have you been playing this, the Elder Scrolls? Is that what it's called?
Oh, come on, Grant. You know what it's called.
Is that what the... Have you played it?
Yeah, I definitely think it's called, I think it's... I was going to come up with something. I couldn't come up.
It's called Elden Scrolls, Grant, you fool.
Is that like a scroll that makes you old?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that beach.
He didn't play it.
Oh, so you are a fan, Grant.
Yeah,
pretending like you don't know.
Pro gamer over here.
I love... Well, so PETA, as Kevin was saying.
Yeah, well, for those of you who don't know, PETA stands for something. I don't know. Something animals.
Tasty animals is what they.
All
that's
right,
what
Grant,
they call it.
Go back to your 7th grade edgy humor.
I was about to say I had that on a T-shirt in the 7th grade from T-shirt Hell, and I was like, nice.
Yeah, I bought this at Hot Topic with my mom's money.
Dang.
Yeah, I got that from Maddox's blog.
Epic.
So they did this video of like the things you can do while playing this game. They've done similar videos where it's like your animal, like stop treating bugs carelessly in Animal Crossing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think it was the most recent one.
There was that. There was like the Mario 3D Land one where it was like Mario was wearing the Tanuki suit, but it was like a realistic skinned like animal suit. Yeah. You know, real nasty stuff. And of course, I think it's mostly for people to just talk about it. But let's have a look at this clip.
It's working because we're talking about it.
And we're talking about it.
Here we go. Here are top 5 things you should do in Elden Ring. 1, take your dogs for a lovely walk around the lake.
Okay.
There's these wolf things trying to kill you.
Persuade mercenaries not to exploit horses. Yes.
Observe wildlife from a safe and respectable distance. And there's
until that thing charges towards you and like kills you in an instant. Check out an animal sanctuary. Okay, so they're being attacked by the wolves, but they are using a shield. Just remember, a sanctuary offers a hands-on experience. It's not legit. Spend a peaceful moment with amazing animals. There's a large turtle there, some beautiful owls. huge crab. The animals in the lands between deserve your respect. They
Go vegan.
So instead of the "you are dead," and then now he's in front of the tree of life, and it says PETA.
And then it says,
Okay.
wait, let me pull this back up. It says, get good at vegan living at PETA.org.
Grant, can you pull back to that crab clip at the end there? Like, I just want to see the text on, or before, like a little bit back. So this says that the animals in the lands between deserve your respect. And the clip they chose to use is where the large crab is literally snipping your body in half. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just gonna sit back and let that happen. I don't think so.
I mean, you could also. So I played, ironically played like the Pokemon Black and Blue game that they made, and like a lot of the stuff that they put out. But what's weird about this, and sorry for cutting off about, I guess, reaction with it, but like, this actually was kind of funny. Like, I don't know, I like the crab cut off in the end. It's like, they deserve your respect, as it's like cutting you in half, like impaling you. It's like, yeah.
It's more tasteful than the other ones, for sure.
I mean, I think that their whole, like...
It's no Pokemon Black and Blue, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think that their whole, like, marketing, like, throughout the years has, like, again, just been to sort of get attention.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a level of self-awareness where people are like, people working at these companies are like, we know what's going to get clicks. If we make this sort of ridiculous and a little silly, people are going to be talking about it. They're going to go, oh, I can't believe they put this on my screen. I look at happy things on my screen. I don't want to. This doesn't make me happy. And then you like it, you retweet it, and all of a sudden it's trending, and then we talk about it on Thought Cops.
And they're like, yes, they're talking about it on that podcast with a minor following, yes.
But doesn't it feel like this one is like the least weird out of it? Like, it actually kind of makes contextual sense, and like,
honestly, yes.
Like, their
it
intern
feels
actually
more
plays
self-aware.
Yeah, like it did, like Pokemon Black and Blue, it's like, oh, you're like exaggerating what Pokemon is. Like, you know, we all joke, haha, the cute animals are fighting, but like, you know, it's
or Mario
really
in the
off mark.
bloody Tanuki suit.
Yeah, like that's really off mark. But like, this was like, oh, they played the game and they're like, oh, these are kind of relevant. I don't know. I thought it was like well done. I don't really like PETA because, you know, they've done a lot of really controversial, horrible things. Despite having a kind message. But
yeah,
I don't. Cool.
It's definitely like this is like, yeah, like you said, this is the least weird PETA thing I've ever seen. Because I remember what the last one that was trending was that guy.
He was fist fighting a large chicken, folks. Oh, that's what grinds my gears. What do you say?
I don't know anymore.
What? No, the last controversial thing. I think it was the Animal Crossing thing, wasn't it?
I was thinking, it wasn't video game related. It was like the guy, like, maybe he was like breastfeeding a cow or something. It was like a cartoon of a guy breastfeeding a cow. And then they were like, and people were like, what is the point of this? I don't know. So yeah, like you said, this is like the least weird PETA thing I've seen. It's just like they didn't even edit the footage at all. It was just straight up Elden Ring gameplay, you know?
Right.
Yeah, it worked, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm disappointed in them for not doing, you know, for Animal Crossing, because like they did the bugs, right? I haven't seen that one. But I'm so surprised they didn't make a spoof on everyone trying to kick out the ugly villagers. Did you hear that whole thing on Twitter?
Oh, yeah.
Where people were bullying the villagers. Like, why didn't they go that route? Because that's like literally being mean to animals.
I think that I think that they're not really all that tuned in to these things. I think that it's just sort of like a cynical, like, hey, this is a thing. How can we talk about this? But I bet that they didn't really care enough to put in the work, put in the hours.
Yeah, so maybe their intern is a gamer this time around. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, hey, just maybe don't make it weird or freaky this time. Maybe don't make it weirdly like a thinly veiled fetish thing.
Or just like, play the game for a little. You got 20 hours. Go through the game for 20 hours, pull some clips, and make a list of 5 things. just do that. And that's better because at least people know that you're actually playing it, you know?
And now I know never to fight back against the crabs.
Yeah, you just let animals murder you, but don't eat them.
Yeah, it makes the game a lot harder. You guys want to challenge? You play these games like, oh, I love FromSoft games. They're so hard. Yeah, try going the PETA route. What's that term they use for like any percent run for like speed runs or stuff? Like there should be. Yeah, there should be like an any percent thing, but it's in regards to like
a Nuzlocke run.
Like I'm doing a PETA run. You know?
Yeah, no, that's actually good.
I didn't kill any animals. I just killed ghouls and other humans. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, fair, like Undertale. Yeah, like but like the PETA pacifist route.
Alliteration.
And it makes the game a whole lot harder, I hear.
One side note to this, just made me think, are they even allowed to use Elden Ring's clips?
That's a good question.
Because legal wise, they don't have. So because part of marketing, I was going to say you
would be the person to ask.
For example, I can't take Mario and then put Shovel Knight's logo over it. You can't do that legally on because we don't own that trademark. That copyrighted IP. They don't own that, and they're using it for commercial purposes.
Oh yeah.
So if FromSoft wanted, they could probably do a legal takedown. Because it's not parody. If they're using direct gameplay, you can't do that. Even parody has a weird fine line.
Well, so, there's parody law, but is this a parody though?
It's not parody.
There's 3 things in my legal expertise of which I have none that I will openly give all my opinions on right now. One, I know that there's weird fair use things, which obviously I think that this doesn't fall underneath.
It's commercial. It doesn't fall under fair use.
2, if PETA's an organization as opposed to a corporation, is there any sort of difference between that? I would wonder.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
On copyright.
So that's strike 2. I got 2 more things, so it's going to be strike 4. I think what it probably boils down to is that they don't care to go. I think that that's been a lot of gameplay of certain things, is that the companies can do takedowns, but a lot of times they just don't.
They're it would be a whole hassle. I would have to take a day off work to go to court.
It's just that's so many different websites and so many different things utilize different clips of things, and it's just you're gonna go after all of it sort of thing. And I don't know. There's sort of that. I don't know though.
I could see Nintendo doing it, but FromSoft, I'm not sure.
Because I haven't seen FromSoft do anything, but I also haven't seen something because there's a level of radar, that you can go over. If you're a small, tiny guy, it's harder for them to spot.
Yeah.
But I feel their legal should have a field day with this because there's no even release of FromSoft is a registered trademark or Elden Ring's registered trademark, blah blah. There's.
Right.
I don't know.
And then I guess my other thing would be Streisand effect, sort of they took down our video. Do you do the victim complex and stuff like that? And it's is it worth it for they're gonna throw a big fit over that? I don't know. I'm just a guy with
how much does PETA earn a year? Because if you could argue and let's say that you had lost profits from their video, you could, get a good sum. But also it looks bad if you're taking from a non-profit, but I'm pretty sure they're for profit. I don't know.
Yeah, I also, it's to be fair, they weren't saying don't play Elden Ring. They were saying play it this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But still, obviously they're not supposed to use that footage. Yeah.
That's an advertisement. That's a literal advertisement. You can't do that.
Looks like in terms of contributions, they make $63 million a year. Gross merchandise sales, $56,000. In interest, dividends, royalties, other income, $2 million.
Grant, why is the link purple?
I've been doing research.
Okay, I was you've been to this before.
I do my homework for this show, Kevin.
Wow. Hey, somebody's got to.
What was the? Oh, is PETA non-profit or is it for profits? Is an international non-profit charitable organization. What do you know?
I feel like
wait, no. It says organization type charitable No. Okay, never mind. I'm dyslexic. Forget I said anything.
Done.
Delete the show.
Done.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, Peta, Elden Ring, punishment. Punishment.
I think
here.
they should have that big crab come and cut them in half. No.
Well, I was thinking. I honestly, I think the pacifist thing is a good way to is a good punishment. Like, just do, But okay. So FromSoft says, you know what? This is kind of legally dicey. I don't know if I want to have this out there, but we'll let you keep it up if you can beat Elden Ring on a full pacifist run.
That's
and
good.
I haven't played the game yet myself. I want to because it's all anybody can seem to talk about. But they should only be allowed to. They're okay if you could beat the game and show us proof you beat the game without killing any dogs or turtles or crabs, then sure, go ahead, keep it up. But until then, take it down. Take it down. Strike off.
Sounds good to me. Should we go through, one more story?
Let's do one more story here real quick. So this is, moving from games to sports here.
This is where we lose our audience.
This is where you lose me as my voice cracks. Yeah.
So sports. Tom Brady. You guys heard of Tom Brady?
Heard of him, Grant. Yes, heard of him.
Tom Brady cut his retirement short. So this is a CNBC article. Obviously, Tom Brady just retired. He retired last week. And then he sat at home.
Was it last week? I thought it was.
No, it was a long time ago.
Oh,
and he sat at home and he watched Family Guy reruns and he went, I can't do this anymore.
Right.
So he said, guys, I'm coming back. I'm good again. I'm actually just kidding. It's time for me to throw around the old pigskin again.
Isn't he like 67 years old?
No, he's young. He's like in his 40s. So the CNBC article, and this ties into some stuff that we've talked about on the show before. Tom Brady cut his retirement short. If other retirees take his cue, it may reduce the labor shortage.
Oh my God. This actually would be fucking awesome. All the old people are playing football again. Just like I would watch football if it was a bunch of old guys running back and forth, like actually old guys running back and forth, and they're
right.
oh yeah, they not a big football head.
The pigskin.
Yeah, they threw a pig's sports ball. Clever joke. But they would be like, there'd be like so many on-field injuries and all this other kind of crazy shit happening. And it would be like, all these young guys, these young bucks out there, they're all, these big built guys.
Right.
I want to see these like string bean, weak old men just like trying to play football on national TV. There's a halftime show. They come back. Half of them couldn't stay awake for the halftime show. Like, yeah, I guess we're at half capacity now.
I can't stay awake for you continuing to describe old people.
They are a fascinating subject.
So anyway, I think that this sort of goes hand in hand with a lot of like the no one wants to work type rhetoric that they're like, hey,
yes.
This millionaire wants to come back to his job. Why don't you guys come back to the office? And it's like,
is that what they're trying to do here?
Yeah, the way that it's worded.
Oh, because the labor shortage.
If other retirees take his cue, it may reduce the labor shortage.
Oh, I was like reading that like they only meant like athletic retirees, but like if they mean like
no, I think
literal,
they mean like just everybody.
Yeah, that's depressing. That sucks.
So this is the world we're in.
Well, I got a punishment to cap this off real quick because like Celia, you said you guys are doing the hybrid model. Coming into the office some days, working from home other days.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
this ties into the whole FIFA thing.
Does it?
Yeah, they play football remote. They play Madden.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was getting at. But more or less, yeah. Like I was going to say he gets to work from home some days, and I was like freaking out because I'm like, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to have that make sense. But yes, he's playing Madden, but he like has his character build of himself with all of his stats, and he's like, yeah, some days I'm just gonna play PS4 at home,
Right.
and I'm still on the game playing it, but then half the time I'll maybe come into the office, throw the ball around at the stadium. No promises. Some days he's gonna be like, yeah, I'm feeling sick, I need to take an extra day home. So, and God bless him.
How you gave him a PS4 instead of a PS5 in your imaginary scenario. That's nice.
That's like
was that on purpose or was that just?
It was half on purpose.
Okay, yeah.
I was trying to be realistic. I'm like, hey, those things are hard to find. They are hard to find.
Yeah.
So he's a busy man.
Yeah, PS5s are really hard to find. My friend, this is a really off tangent story. I don't know if we do tangents here.
Oh, we do. We do
the
tangents.
Whole show
okay.
is tangents.
Yeah.
So, at a holiday thing I was at, so rewind. So one of my friends had offered to help me find a PS5 for the holidays. The thing is that, they were super scarce. And I, at a holiday party, I told my good friend Gerard, about it. And okay, I have to rewind again. So my friend that's helping me with the PS5 is a huge fan of Gerard, the completionist. He's a YouTuber. He's awesome.
Okay, I was going to ask him, Gerard the completionist?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
And basically what happened was Gerard and I at the holiday party were talking about PS5s, and I mentioned that my friend, the one that's fans of him, was helping me find one. And he's like, wait, call him up real quick. And I was like, okay. So Gerard video called my friend Mike. It was basically, I'll go to your birthday party if you help her find a PS5. And he did. He worked really, really hard, and that's how I got my PS5.
Wow.
So it's like a really scattered story there. But yeah, has Tom Brady ever tried finding a PS5 to come out of retirement? Because I think that should be his punishment.
I think that
Full
is
circle.
a good punishment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, there's a lot of backstory to that joke, so I needed
sometimes
That's
you need
perfect.
that,
That is good.
It's character development.
Yeah, because it's like, you can't just say, "Oh, I'm a millionaire football player. I take my head and I push it into somebody else's head and I get $1 million. I get multiple $1 million.
CTE.
And I get all these things, and then I'm just going to quit, but then I'm just going to come back." It's like, no, we know that you're good at this. You need to be good at something else. You need to be good at find a PS5 on eBay.
Say, yeah.
you need to work for it.
That's one of the most valuable skills right now. I'm serious.
Thing. Like the whole thing of, oh, nobody wants to work. It's like everybody wants to work, but no one wants to work. He wants to go and he wants to punch the clock. He wants to throw around the pigskin, but he doesn't want to do the actual hard work that people like me and Kevin do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to work because, what am I going to spend the money on? Not a PS5? I can't find one. I'm making money for no reason.
You know what? Everyone wants a PS5, but no one wants to go to Walmart and fight people for one.
That is so true. Nobody wants to work anymore. Nobody wants to throw fists at Walmart,
Yeah. Like the good old days for all that other stuff.
Black Friday.
Oh man, what a sad time capsule, because I remember 2006, 2007.
That's the exact time I was thinking.
Around that time where it's just like you get these videos of just like people getting trampled going into Walmart, and you're sitting at home watching TV and you're going, ha, those idiots. And now I get really sad thinking about that, that it's like, oh, people were just desperate to get things because things were on sale and it's hard to afford things. And
oh, I thought you were sad that it doesn't happen anymore.
No.
I was like, okay, buddy. Yeah, I'm so sad that my Uncle Jimmy didn't break his arm this year.
I miss when people would die trying to get a 2-for-1 sale on TVs.
He lives for the bloodshed. People died for a 720p TV. Can you believe that?
No, I'm sad that was a thing that we all culturally thought that, in the same way that everyone now is looking at Britney Spears' breakdown of 2007 was not a good year. We did not do not our
best.
Most of history, I think that we've not been doing too great.
Yeah, but
2007 in particular seems just like that time where it's just like, I don't know, things were happening.
I mean, it was no 2016, but, you know, 2007 was a different kind of wild, a little bit of a throwback, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I got a Nintendo DS in 2007. That was a pretty good year for me. So I don't know what you guys.
I was just thinking, like, I'm like 2007. Like, what games was I playing? Then I'm like, yeah, I guess I would have had a Wii.
I think I had purchased a Wii in 2007. They were all sold out, and then
you couldn't find those for a while either.
Yeah.
Couldn't find those for a while, and then I remember going to Best Buy to purchase a 3DS because I was like, I'm just never going to get a Wii. It's never going to happen. And then they had no 3DSs, and then they pointed to a big stack of Wiis, and they're like,
"Wait, you bought a Wii? Wait, you bought you? When did you buy a Wii?"
I don't know the year
because like
whenever
3DS,
it came out.
I was going to say
3DS came out in like 2011. So I think you mean DS Lite, maybe. DSi?
Maybe it was one of the DSs.
Yeah, maybe.
I've been telling that
There's
story wrong for like a decade.
Oh, that is embarrassing.
I don't care.
It's okay.
Yeah,
we can all be wrong. I forgot Digimon had a game series and movie and TV show, even though I have the movie and a lot of the TV show and some of the games. So we're just all wrong here.
You know, the only reason I know that there's a Digimon game is because I remember as a kid, I was at a sleepover and my friend was like,
the PS1 game?
Yeah, he's like, I want to show you the Digimon game. There's something really cool in it. And then he booted the game up. It took me to this area to show me that the Digimon could go poop.
How come I knew you were going to tell that? Like, you've never told me that story, and I knew that that's where it was headed. Like, the giddiness in your voice, I was just like, I know what's going to happen.
I've
never even played that game, and I knew that was the end point.
I just vividly remember him, like, doing it and be like, see?
So, do you know the reason why they can poop in that game?
I don't know.
It slaps. So, Digimon actually started out as a Tamagotchi for boys.
Okay. I didn't know Tamagotchi was for girls.
Yeah. We grew
well,
up
it was
in
like
the
unisex,
Tamagotchi.
but it was more marketed towards girls.
Okay.
Digimon was like the digital pet, because like that was like all the huge craze back then.
Right.
And yeah, that's what they were doing, and they're like, these are popular. Let's make a TV show. But like Digimon,
right.
you have to make sure that they don't die in their poop. So
Tamagotchis could go poop too? I forget.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. Because you take care of it like a normal pet or whatever.
Makes sense.
I remember
press the refresh button. If you don't do that, they die. I'm just throwing that out there in case you killed a few.
See, this is one of those things where I was saying, like, you know, there are some advantages that maybe Digimon does have on Pokemon. For example, they don't go poop in Pokemon.
That we know of.
Just saying. I mean,
we know of.
I not that I recall, you know?
Hold on, I'm Googling, do Pokemon poop?
Yeah, do Pokemon.
Well,
it's probably a PETA game for that.
Yeah, in the
Yes. There's a Pokemon. Okay, so there is a Pokédex entry of Darumaka. I don't know who that is. In one of the Pokédex entries, it mentions that people use its poop to keep warm. Gross.
That is kind of fucked up. Like, I'm trying to remember what this one looks like, and also like why only that one? You know, like what makes Darumaka
I'm assuming
so special?
that's sort of like a guano sort of utilitarian.
That's what I was thinking.
Utilize.
It must be like some kind of like
it's a reference to something that
owl
probably
pellets
exists.
or something.
Yeah,
Daru.
You burn those when you're cold.
I don't know, but he's real cute. Oh my god.
Oh, I've seen this character.
Let me
Yeah,
see.
it's
I like him. No, of course he's the one that poops. Okay.
And he is a fire type, so stand to reason his poop is probably pretty warm.
I was going to say something about Digimon. Oh yeah,
yes.
in second grade we were disincentivized from bringing our Tamagotchis to school. I had a dinosaur Tamagotchi, and they said, "Guys, we don't want you playing those things in class." And
It's
I was
satanic.
I knew I had neighbors that they would come over to my house and they would be like, "Oh, you have Pokemon cards? My dad doesn't let me play with those because he thinks that they're the devil." And I'm like, oh man, I'm so sorry.
I saw a post on Twitter like a couple of days ago where somebody pointed out how like there was so much like satanic panic about like Pokemon when it first came out.
Yeah.
And then like in later generations, they have Pokemon that are like literal devils. And then nobody cares
Pokemon
anymore.
Satan. This is Beelzebub. Like,
and they're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the 90s Christian moms have probably, tired down from being angry. I don't know.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I had a friend too. My childhood best friend wasn't allowed to read Harry Potter, watch Pokemon.
Yeah.
I don't know, enjoy anything of the 90s. So my house was like the heathen house of like, hey, let's watch the Harry Potter movies.
90s, very satanic decade.
Yeah.
Let's move on, though, to a very a more positive segment of the show. We like to do a little palate cleanser here at the end with our Thought Cops Key to the City, where we like to give a key to our fair city of Neo Chicago to something good, something positive, something swell. And I'm going to give my key to the city this week to our friends over at Drink a Beer and Play a Game for, helping us line up this episode.
Facilitating.
Yeah. Because you were on an episode of their show, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll reach out to her, and then, they helped me set it up. So shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
Always good to us. Oh, and we're also going to, actually, by the time this comes out, we'll also have guested on their show too, because we're.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, yeah, go check them out. YouTube, Drink a Beer, Play a Game. You'll may or may not see our episode up, and Celia's episode's up there too.
Have you guys decided what beer you're going to have?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I'm like tired of drinking because I overdid it this past Saturday.
Chicago.
It's like Chicago Patrick's Day.
They dye the river green.
Yeah, so
nice.
That was basically by the time St. Patrick's Day actually rolls around, I think most people in Chicago are like, oh, I forgot that that's a holiday.
And it's a work day,
Yeah.
It's a school night.
So yeah.
Also, while Grant is pulling up his video here, Celia, did you have anything nice or positive you want to share with the class?
I tried looking up cool news before this interview, and I couldn't find any. But on St. Patrick's Day, so tomorrow, it's my cat's birthday!
Yes.
Happy birthday.
His name is Mr. Schmutz. He is turning 2 years old tomorrow. And I'm going to throw him a birthday party.
And did you say this was an orange cat or no?
No, he's a white cat.
Okay. Well, regardless, shout out to, you said Mr. what now? Schmutz. Okay.
Yeah.
How old? You said 2?
2. He's turning 2 years old.
Wonderful. What a great age. 2 years old.
It's a nice even number.
Yeah, making him a little party hat. It's gonna be really cool.
Nice.
I make him kitty ice cream. It's gonna be fun.
That does sound good. You know what I was thinking?
I don't think you're supposed to eat that, Kevin.
I mean, you can. Like, it's made out of pumpkin. Like, it's dairy free if you're lactose intolerant. Because cats are lactose intolerant, by the way. Don't give them dairy.
I was watching like a movie or a TV show the other day, and they were eating birthday cake in it. Like that big old sheet cake with all that frosting and everything. Right. And I'm like, I haven't had that in years.
Because you couldn't have a gathering where like people breathed on a cake for the past 2 years.
Hold on, you can just buy it. Like, you don't have to have an event.
Well,
like,
that's what I was gonna say.
It won't stop you.
That's what I was going to say. Like, I want an excuse to have one because, like, I do feel like
you can just make one. You can just get into baking.
I specifically want like the store bought one. Like it's like that kind of like semi-mass produced.
Put Spider-Man on it. Write your name on it. Happy birthday! Happy 32nd birthday, Kevin. Here's your Spider-Man cake.
I want an excuse for a Spider-Man cake with like the frosting you bite into that makes your teeth tingle because of how much what fructose or whatever
it's just
sugar is in there, but sure. I want that. And the thing is, like, I can't buy a cake for one man because it's like that's so what am I gonna sit there and like work on it myself for a week?
You didn't invite me over.
Okay, fair. But even then, the two of us, that's not enough.
We'll have a party. We'll just have a non-birthday party.
We'll
just have a cake party. We'll do what Reddit does, and we'll have a cake day. How about that? Does that make you happy?
Because like our birthdays are very close to one another, right. And I was like, and our birthdays are right around the corner. I'm like, oh, that's not for like 3 or 4 months. Yeah. I have no idea what fucking month it is.
Whatever.
When's your birthdays?
Mine is July 1st.
Mine's June 29th. And nobody try and break into any of my accounts or anything like that.
That's been a fun little thing over the past several years. We've had a little joint birthday party almost every year, I think, where it's like, you know what, Usually I don't want to throw a party for myself. Usually you don't want to throw one for yourself. But we're like, if we just have an excuse,
just have some people together.
Yeah,
whatever.
so we'll make it a
Doesn't
joint thing. Have some people get together. Have a big old sheet cake.
Exactly.
We'll make it happen this year.
Right.
I'm committing to it now.
There you go. I'm rooting for you guys.
Thank you. My cue to the city this week goes to this video. I've had this video on the list for a while, but this seems like a good episode to bring this up. This is from the 1992 Olympics, and this is a guy who's running that gets injured in the middle of his run, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit play here. This is just like one of those videos that's like
an Olympic image.
You're having a shitty day or whatever, and you watch this video, and you're just like, hey. Maybe not everything is wrong with the world. Like, maybe it's a lot better of a place to inhabit than we all think.
Because he gets injured?
So you'll see, he's running, they're starting off. It happens maybe right there. He pulls his hamstring. And he starts limping, and he just, like, keeps going. He's just like, fuck it. I'm in the Olympics. I lost. Whatever. I'm gonna go fucking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep going. Whatever. Right. There's some inspirational music that obviously wasn't there.
They just started playing it when they're like, come on, get up.
Well, so if it could, so everyone's finished. And he's on the ground, he's crying, and he just goes, fuck it. He starts limping.
This is like me limping through the Apple joke earlier.
Yes.
I knew I had to do it.
And then people are like, hey, no, you can't keep going. And then eventually you'll see here. He's just like running on one leg. People are cheering him on. And he's slowing down, and then his dad comes out of the stands.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, hey, we'll run together. We started it. I think he says we started this together. We'll finish it together. The guy just is like bawling, The dad's like, we'll finish it. These some of the referees and stuff are like, hey, sir, you can't do that. He's like, fuck you.
Oh my gosh.
And it's just like, this is just like one of those like nice videos that I feel like every once in a while it's just like, yeah, I need to watch this in my life to just remember like things are gonna be okay, man. Look, you got people, people support. Like, it's just like one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm not like a big sports person. I don't give a shit about most of this type of stuff, but that's like a good moment, and I would highly suggest anytime someone's feeling not great to watch that video. It's a
Derek Redmond,
touching
1992 Olympics.
Touching moment that brings us all together as a race of humans.
And it's kind of funny because he's running a race.
Exactly. So that's it. That's my key to the city.
Okay. What next? Oh, yes, of course. Our Thought Cops word of the week. This week's Thought Cops word of the week. I'll keep it in the gaming sector, actually. This is a term for, well, the term is, the word of the week is scrimblow. Now, this is a term I've seen applied because this was like when like Smash Bros was like releasing all the new characters. Everybody's like, who's going to be in it?
Right.
And hey, Shovel Knight's in it as an assist trophy.
I don't know if is Scrimblow a character.
Well, I will. It's a genre of character.
Oh, okay.
So Scrimblow, because like people are like, oh, there's like the anime sword boy, trope, or there's the fighting game character trope, like Mashima and like Ryu and everything.
Right.
And then there's all the people who are like, well, I want like Rayman to be in it, or I want Crash Bandicoot or something.
So Rayman is a Scrimblow?
Like, yeah, basically any Mario or Sonic or Rayman type character, that's, I guess, a Scrimblow type character. Maybe Shovel Knight would fit into this character character category kind of. It's basically like a character who's like they're less of like a cool badass sword user. They're more of like maybe like
cartoony 90s-y
cartoony
sort of
platformer
like
type
Spyro,
of mascot.
Spyro,
Yes,
the dragon.
Yes, exactly. So, Scrimblow, have you ever heard that term before, Celia, or are you just learning it on the show tonight?
I'm both. Like, okay, so I know that like a Twitter mutual that I have, Scootish, he's really cool. He's written Scrimblow on Twitter, but I thought he was just being weird.
Well, there you go.
There's saying weird. I thought he was saying like weird, funny, like funny guy says funny thing, like on tweet. And now I know. I should have commented on it. Oh, I thought you said scribbles or something, like to throw back to your tweets that you hate. I don't know.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I'm trying to navigate your
Thank
your
God.
joke. I'm trying for you. This is for you. But
I appreciate it so much. You guys, this is like that Olympics clip. You guys are carrying me to the finish line of the episode here. Thank God.
Keep on going, man.
Yeah.
Except neither of us are your dad, so I don't know.
Oh, close enough. Close enough.
So that's heartwarming. Right. But cool. Now I'm going to use that ironically and unironically.
Yes,
that's the best way to use any term on the just to be safe.
So next time you're in a yacht club's meeting, you're like, oh yeah, is it a shovel knight? A Scrimblow? They're going to be like, what? Where did you?
Yeah, right next to Mina the Hollower meeting, maybe like our dev stream. If anyone, if any backers or people who are interested in backing on Pledgebox, check out MinaTheHollower.com. Who said that? Like during maybe like a developer stream, I'll be like, hey, is Mina a Scrimblow or I don't know, Midden?
And then we're gonna get banned for
my personal opinion. I think Mina rides a line between like Scrimblow and kind of like a JRPG anime girl, because like she is like a talking animal, but she's also a cool female RPG adjacent protagonist.
Stick her in a pizza commercial from the 90s to sell pizza,
right?
Like that 90s pizza. Man, like you get the red glass,
Crash
Bandicoot.
Bandicoot.
Say pizza because of Chuck E. Cheese.
Well,
I just feel like 90s advertising
Crash Bandicoot did that. Like, remember the when they first introduced stuffed crust, it was Crash Bandicoot in the commercials, and they advertised it where it was like the pizza you eat backwards.
Right, and there's that, and then there's like the Noid, who I feel like was a Scrimblow sort of guy. I guess Chuck E. Cheese to a certain extent, but like there like pizza advertising in the 90s had like it had like a Scrimblow aesthetic. Like they had like weird designs on the carpets and stuff like that, and you were like, this place is wacky.
So I think we've officially put more effort into the term Scrimblow than the people who came up with it.
Yeah.
So without further ado, before we do get to our final segment of the show, which is our listener voicemails, Celia, if you want to plug everything like your social media and where people can again support Mina the Hollower, everything.
Oh, yeah, of course. Okay, so for Mina the Hollower, if you type in MinaTheHollower.com, it'll bring you directly to our pledge box if anyone's interested in backing. All of the backer tiers are available, minus the director tiers, of course, because those filled up. You can find out more information there. Also, if you type in Mina the Hollower Kickstarter, you can see all of our cool Kickstarter updates. We tend to post all of our updates also, not Kickstarter updates, but like updates in general for Yacht Club Games on yachtclubgames.com. If you want to follow us on social media, we're at Yacht Club Games on everything. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I started TikTok. Follow it. I don't post anything yet, but maybe I will eventually. Who knows?
Yeah, we gotta do that too.
Do a TikTok. Do it to yourself. There's a lot of trends. It's more than just dancing. There's, I don't know, other stuff. There's cats and orange cat slander, which needs to be stopped. As for other things, if you want to find me personally, I'm on Twitter. I'm at Celia B with 3 E's. And on Instagram, I'm Kosher Gamer. I do a retro gaming blog. It's fun. And I think that's all of my plugs. Mina the Hollower, go check it out.
Yes. Is there a release date just yet, or are we is that TBD?
TBD for a while, but we're pretty transparent with our backers of community. So if we have any updates, we'll be sure to share with all of them. When I get a release date in the far future, I'll be sure to let you guys know as well. I typically post it on our social media pages and website.
I was going to say, I'm definitely going to be keeping my eyes open for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So again, before we do get to our listener voicemails, you can support our show on Patreon, get all kinds of cool bonus content and extra stuff. You can hang out in the live chat. You can get access to our bonus show, Fire Bros, where we did review Shovel Knight like 4 years ago.
Episode
like 2
1
or something. Yeah. And like, yeah, dude. I don't know why I said it that way, but patreon.com/thoughtcops. I want to give a shout out to our new patron this week, Brady. Thank you, Brady. Patreon.com/thoughtcops. And if you want to leave the show a voicemail, hey, that's free. Doesn't cost you a dime.
That's what it might sound like if you like calling on a phone.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Well, I guess actually, unless you're calling from a payphone, I suppose it would cost you a quarter. I don't remember.
Wait, do payphones still exist?
There's definitely like one somewhere. It's like Blockbuster. Like there's a Blockbuster. There's a payphone.
I'm assuming they exist on like the side of a road in like the middle of the desert somewhere where you're like, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of just Breaking Bad, but
yeah, I was gonna say that's like a very Better Call Saul sort of like.
Yeah, if you are a struggling lawyer or meth dealer, yes, you can call us from a payphone in the middle of a desert. But otherwise, our phone number is 312-788-7361, or you can send us an email at thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com.
Hey, Thought Cops, it's RL Cruz from the Discord and other places that we met before.
Yeah.
You've been on our show.
My question for Celia is, since you've worked with an independent gaming studio such as Yacht Club, and they've obviously, we've seen them grow from crazy amounts of success over the years, what's the one big misconception that rising artists, whether it be in the video games industry, music, film, television, art, etc., like what's the biggest misconception that people have in that space when they're starting up? And what's a great way to avoid those misconceptions to, be the best we can be? Anyway,
like no one ever
awesome
was.
that you're on the show. These guys are cool. I've hung out with them personally, not to brag, but I am. And that's about it. Love you guys. See you guys soon.
Wow, thank you, Raul. Thank you for the kind words. And I guess we're a fun hang too.
I guess so. That? Yeah.
So yeah, words of inspiration. It sounds like he's asking for here.
I mean, like, there's so many facets of, like, misconceptions. And I feel like that's with any industry. But I feel like with industries around the arts, whether it be in music, in video games, in writing, there's so many, like, I feel like there's, like, such a curtain of, like, mystery shrouded within, like, for example, video games and sales, developer expectations, marketing. How do you even get a job in video games? So, like, I feel like, okay, I'm trying to think, like, what aspect I should give advice for. Let's go with the basic, how to get a job in gaming. A lot of people ask that. And it's one of those things where you just apply. Just do it. Like, literally, there's career pages on a website. There's starting positions. Jump in. Video games tend to, I guess the industry in general cares about, like, what you can do. So if you want to get involved, make your own passion project. And then, have a portfolio and apply. Like, there's different ways to do it. But I'm not sure because I wish he was more specific because then I could be like, here's an actual advice that applies to you. So if he has a follow-up on Twitter, I'm more than happy to answer it. Just tweet at me because that's easier for me to respond. Or you guys.
I have a good example because actually part of the reason I thought to ask you on the show was because there is this YouTube channel called That Guy Glenn, and he does a lot of these how it was made videos. And I was going through his channel recently, and he has and like I really enjoy, similar to like the Olympics video. I really just love watching videos of like people who just they had an idea for something, they had a passion for something. It was like a grassroots movement of people coming together. Just to name one great example, but there is a video on his channel about how Shovel Knight was made. Well, the video is called "How Shovel Knight Was Made and Broke the NES."
Yeah,
but it's a really have you seen this video, Celia?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, very inspiring. I would say, like, if you're interested in the Yacht Club game story at all,
I think probably because the cartridge doesn't like fit in the NES. It probably got like lost in there. And
thank you for spoiling the entire video, Grant.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Zwick, edit out.
Or at least put a spoiler alert. No, it's a really inspiring video. You'll learn all about the, I guess from his perspective,
Yeah. Like honestly, like there's so many different aspects. I wish I could answer his question because that was really sweet. I don't know, other inspirations. Believe in yourself. Have a plan. If you're going to market your game, have intentions. Always have intentions. And like, let's say you make a game and you want to reach out to media, just send them an email. It's that easy. You never know who you're going to make friends with.
I think he already knows this because he reached out to us and he was like, because he'd been listening for a while and he's doing his own show and he's like, hey, is it cool if I come on an episode of Thought Cops? And we're like, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he asked and he seems like he's got a, fair background of things and he's got a passion for it. So we're like, yeah, why not? Mm-hmm. So it sounds like he already has his answer. He just needs to hear.
Hey, sometimes that's all. Sometimes and you just need someone to like reiterate. Like,
exactly.
That's so much of my life is I feel like, oh, how do you do a podcast? And it's like, oh, just start. And you're like, oh, okay. And then like, you're like, I haven't started yet. And someone's like, well, just do it. And you're like, oh yeah. And then someone else is like, hey, have you started that podcast yet? And you're like, I don't really know what to do. And they go, just effing start.
I mean, famously.
Like, oh, okay. Now I get it. Now this just, you do it.
Like the first 10 episodes of our show we sat a cell phone on a table and then we just talked for an hour.
Yeah.
So
if we did it, you can also have 10 very low quality episodes. Let's hit this next VM here.
Hey, Thought Cops, it's your boy, Brandon Kirkman.
What's that?
Hello.
I saw you're having on Celia from Yacht Club Games. Huge Shovel Knight fan. I'm just wondering, so Shovel Knight has the power of shoveling. Mina, I'm going to guess it has the power of cheese and whips. What's the next game's power going to be? Are they going to be like good at spreadsheets or, I don't know, just like really good at synergizing with the team? I'm thinking it's going to be a work-based team game.
Sounds like
very fun. If you could answer that, and then also let me know what Shovel Knight's shoe size is. It's very important. I need to get those details as soon as possible. Thank you so much.
So you are on.
Don't talk over it.
That was very important. We did have to hear that at the end. So I obviously you are a representative for Yacht Club Games. Some of those secrets may be, behind lock and key. Like, as I'm sure Nintendo would never reveal Mario's shoe size. We don't know for sure what the shoe size of Shovel Knight is, as far as I'm concerned. But he is wondering, could there be a world where Yacht Club Games makes what he is, I guess, kind of describing as an office simulator, I guess?
Okay, so I guess my marketing response to that, or PR response to that is, wow, that's a great suggestion. Currently, that's not in the pipeline right now, but you never know. If it ever ends up being in the pipeline, we'll be sure to announce it on our social media pages and website. Thanks. Same answer goes with shovel feet. Like, no, go away.
I was trying to save you from that one.
I feel like if I asked Waz, he's one of the the founding people, he'd be like, gross. So let me just respond to him, just say gross.
Yeah.
But if we ever were to make a shovel, I don't even think there's like a. I'm not even going to go there. Never mind. I was like, merchandising. No, gross.
Yeah, because you don't want like, Shovel Knight, wiki feet dot whatever.
Well, let's not put that out of the ether.
I'm just saying, like, you just want to.
And there's the website. No, okay. So it's kind of one of those things where, please don't. Like that fake, I think it's Miyamoto quote or someone where it was like, please stop.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Let's say, please stop, please.
But I feel like he might have called us from his office job and was like, similar to me looking around the kitchen for examples of things to talk about. Yeah. He was like, what if there was a game about, I don't know, in Office?
Honestly,
perhaps?
I've played enough sort of like those administrative games where it's sort of like scratches that one particular itch where you're like, I don't know if I would have necessarily sought this out, but like Papers, Please, or like Beat Cop or any of those games where it's like the whole thing is like you do paperwork. And it's just like, oh, this is like weirdly, like I like this a lot, but I don't really know why, because on paper, it's boring sounding, but it's got that like you check off a list and you're like, I did something. I've accomplished something. I
mean, I think like that is one of like the biggest appeals to video games. It's like so many games now, it's just like, here's a list of side quests that get checked off. The more
the
like
list done,
like the new Pokemon game, it was like I was like doing like it was like I kept playing for hours and hours because it was constantly like
I'm never gonna finish it.
It was like, hey, good job, you threw a Pokemon at the tree and got an apple. Hey, good job, you picked up a berry. Hey, good job, you caught 50 Pikachus. And it was like, and that makes me feel good about myself.
I'm never gonna stop playing that game. Like I'm never gonna beat it. It's never gonna happen.
I believe in you. It will happen.
But to end his note, if he wants more Shovel Knight content, we recently, not recently, like yesterday, our new update for Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon went out for Steam. So it's not an office, but you can play more Pocket Dungeon. We included Random Night, some quality of life improvements, and some other cool stuff. Like we added portraits and new animations. Lots of fun. Go check it out. And we also have Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
Dude, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon, Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon's fun. Let me know if you want to keep. I could, if you want to review it, all of a sudden, hook it up.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, of course. We have Shovel Knight Dig on the horizon. We haven't announced a release date yet, but Shovel Knight and his next adventure is coming out eventually soon. It's nearing the end of development, so we'll have more news about that soon. So keep an eye out for social media pages and website, because when I can talk about it, I can.
She's a pro.
That's my spiel. There you go.
Yeah.
I want an 8-bit rendition of Nick Cave's song Dig Lazarus Dig in that game.
Well, that would be where
nobody wants that except for me, but I would die if that.
You should say that's a great suggestion, Grant.
Wow,
perhaps,
it's not currently in the pipeline right now, but thanks.
Y'all got to get Nick Cave on the phone.
Right.
I like that is like the verbal equivalent of like the auto response email.
Yeah, that's I need to load up with phrases like that.
Yes.
Yeah,
thank you for yeah. Well, let's take the last voicemail here.
Okay.
Hello, Thought Cops. Once again, it is I.
Hey, if you guys ever need a voice actor.
Your voicemail, and what a wonderful Wednesday evening it is, gentlemen. But let's cut right to it, shall we? Thought crime.
Yes, sir.
This is something I'm not all too familiar with, but I think Kevin might know a bit more about.
Oh.
So,
okay.
This week's thought crime? Translations. Particular to the world of anime and manga. I'm told
manga, sir. First of all,
recently there's been a spat over the translations of these works from the native Japanese over to English. That certain things are being parsed out into English in a way that's non-offensive. Not a direct translation, though. Ruins the works, I think. This, gentleman, is a thought crime.
Okay.
To appeal to one's sensibilities through the use of the language. I think it's a thought crime and worthy of discussion. So, gentlemen, discuss. Otherwise,
have at it.
Have a great day.
Well, thank you, Leo.
I know not.
So I think he's more like kind of more speaking to like localization. I don't know, Celia, you might have a little bit of insight into that.
Yeah. So a long time ago, I had a job copywriting. I did marketing too. But like localization for packaging for like certain things. And like one things I would localize is into French. And like, if you made a controller, okay, let's just throw out an example. And you use a cat pun, it's the perfect controller. There is no perfect, PURR translation into French. You can say, well, it kind of works. That's like purr. But no, it doesn't work like that. So yeah, you have to translate it like what would make sense, So if the person reading it doesn't think, wow, this person sucks. Who did this? Why? So it's kind of one of those things, if we jump into like anime, where like it goes into different notes, I guess, because like, for example, localization, in the 90s for anime. Like kids didn't usually be able to like hop on the internet and be like, oh, I don't know what this word means and like have to Google it. So it's like, of course they would change like onigiri to like sandwich. It's dumb to us now, but back then, you know, American kids are used to PB&Js. Like they don't know what that amazing, delicious thing is. You know, it's you know, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But then for localization
Ash, these
now,
donuts sure are delicious.
yeah, I know. Like it's obnoxious. It's stupid. But the thing is though, is that they just went to the lowest common denominator. Like, I don't know, some kid's not going to know unless they were like a hardcore weeb. Like I was so mad as a kid about that.
Oh, same.
Like, the world needs to know that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Then there's also localization where, you know, it's like a lot of work gets put into it to making sure that it makes sense. And it's not just like for anime, for example, it's not just having the direct translation, because in Japanese, certain words are less lip flaps than they would be in English. So what are you going to do? Speed Racer? You've extended and like it's just not going to match up and it's going to be weird. Like that doesn't make sense. And also localization people worked really hard. Like it's really difficult to be that fluent in a language and both aspects of it for grammar and writing and all of that to be able to compose that in in a short period of time to like really learn the text and make it appropriate for those characters as well. I think they're really talented, and I think that the hate that goes around for that is really unfair, actually.
It's people who are very, very nitpicky, and it's just
I don't know any of this anime stuff because I'm not so involved in this world, but I do know a lot of like translations for like classic novels and stuff like that have like, oh, don't read like this version of Dostoevsky, like read this one, like the Vilinsky and the whatever, like their translation is better than the whatever. And it's just like, because there are those like little nuances of like, hey, this Russian joke from 200 years ago doesn't make sense in English.
Believe it or not,
like,
doesn't connect with modern audiences in America.
It is one of those things where it's like, yeah, like there is like very much so an art to be able to do that. And it's like, I barely speak English, and I took a couple French classes, and I still don't like, I could never do, like, how do you do a play on words in a language? Like,
yeah, a lot of like the jokes and puns don't always
no.
I mean,
French, not at all. Oh my God, no.
I mean, in the world of anime, it's like you think about like it's a miracle that like Vegeta, Kakarot, Frieza, that those were like that, like somehow is ubiquitous to English. You know, it's like supposed to be like, you know, vegetable, carrot, freezer. It's just like, you know, thankfully that ported over instead of them having to change it. But I was also going to ask, like, is there like when Shovel Knight, for example, maybe gets localized to Japanese audiences, is there a lot of changes that you're aware of that have to be made?
We actually did a full-on localization to Japan. So, like, the rupees are yen bits.
Oh, okay.
We literally, not rupees, but you know what I mean, like the little jewels and whatnot, the treasure. So we put a lot of care into localizing Shovel Knight for Japan to make cultural references that made sense to them. We put a lot of effort into it because we're a bunch of weebs. We were so excited to have our game be released in Japan. So we put a lot of effort into it and worked really closely with our translation partners for that. And yeah, you know, it's important because you have to make sure it contextually makes sense for other, for other areas where you're just, you know, they're going to be like, what is this? I don't get it. But like, you know, they get it.
How was
sorry.
I was going to say, how was the game like received over there? I'm assuming well.
It is in the East. Shovel Knight is a smaller audience in comparison to the West. But the people that do play it like it. So
I have noticed like there have been a number of like American or Western indie games that do seem to be receiving a popularity in recent like years in Japan. Like I know Cuphead is really big over there, Undertale and stuff like that. And like I said earlier, I mean, Shovel Knight is the only indie game character to appear in Smash Bros. So that's pretty cool. So that's an honor in and of itself. So I was also going to ask.
We were the first. I think there's other indie characters.
Oh well, that's true. There is like costumes. Like there's a Cuphead. I think
the first time that you ever said that sentence, it was true, and then there's other things that have happened.
We were the first third-party indie to be an assist trophy and also have an amiibo. So
that's right. That was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really hope that for the next Smash Bros. Shovel Knight's playable, because like, to be honest, like that was like one of my number one picks, and then when they showed it was an assist trophy, I'm like, that's really cool, but I really wish I could play a Shovel Knight too.
I wanted the puppet from the Mario RPG. I wanted that guy.
Gino?
Yes.
How dare you misremember Gino's name?
I'm
Dead
being
to me.
facetious.
Maybe one day. I feel like I was holding on hope there for a while too, but I mean, it's really cool. And again, like just diving into all the yacht club stuff, like the background and everything, has been really interesting and fun to see. So yeah, it's cool to get a little more perspective of that from like having you on the show. And again, that does wrap up our listener voicemails, and that wraps up our show. Again, if you want to give us a call, our phone number is 312-788-7361, or you can send us an email at thoughtcopspodcast@gmail.com, or you can support the show at patreon.com/thoughtcops. Celia, thank you again so much for coming on the show.
Appreciate having you on.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for inviting me. It's been fun.
Glad to hear. And then thank you to all of those who listened today. We'll see you next time.
See you, Space Cop.